Hey everyone, welcome back. I am really excited today because I have a guest with me, Alethea Kehas, who is a yoga instructor and an author, and she's the author of the Warriors of Light series. It's a middle grade series, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. And she's also the author of a memoir called A Girl Named Truth. Um, I was trying to think of when I'm sure I met you through the blog, and we must have connected through, I don't know, do you remember?
Yeah, I think we connected through blogging. I don't remember when exactly, but it's been several years. Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
yeah,
So if you're watching this, we're having a little internet trouble, but we're going to power through hopefully, and hope that works out for everybody. So we apologize. I don't know why that would be, but
yeah.
technology is awesome, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's
So,
always something going.
so, uh, so Alethea, you're a yoga instructor and you teach yoga classes several days a week. Is that correct?
Yeah, it varies. At least two classes a week, sometimes several more. Depends on the week. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Do people sign up ahead of time?
Yes. So it depends on where I'm teaching, but yes, most people sign up ahead of time. So I teach at a senior center, a gym, I sub other places, and then I do a Zoom class.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
I asked that just because at the library before COVID, we never had signups ever. It
Oh,
was just walk-ins for everything that we had, but now everything's like a sign up.
yeah.
And it's hard to get away from that, you know. They were like, "Oh, are there going to be walk-ins?" You know,
Right, right. Yeah, that's
so
interesting.
yeah. The Warriors of Light series, that's middle grade. And what grades is middle grade? Is that
Basically ages 9 and up for middle grade reads
Mhm.
usually. Yeah, so mine is definitely accessible for 9-year-olds if they're a little more on the precocious end, I guess.
Mhm.
It's not that there's no violence or anything like that. It's just you have to think a little bit when you read
Gotcha.
it. Yeah.
Okay. And then so what are they about? You have two out, right?
So there are books about oh yes, there's two so far. There's The Labyrinth and Keys to the Heart. Keys to the Heart just released in February.
Mhm.
There'll be one more it'll be a trilogy.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, and it's about 13-year-olds who are tasked with a mission to repair the lines of light. What was that?
Oh no, I think we were
Oh,
just
sorry.
cutting out a little bit. Keep going.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, so 13-year-olds who are giving a mission of repairing the lines of light in Earth. So those are known as ley lines or dragon lines in the mysticism world. And yeah, they need to heal the Earth basically because the Earth is broken. So it's a lot about there's a lot of environmental messages in the book.
Mhm.
There's a lot about finding that connection back to nature and yourself. Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
neat. And so
yeah.
is it the same characters throughout the trilogy?
Yeah. So there's six protagonists, three girls, three boys. Um, they're of various ethnicities and but they all actually live in the same area.
Mhm.
So they all end up in the same area and they meet up in a labyrinth. And the labyrinth
Oh,
takes them into magical places basically.
okay.
And
So
there they learn they have to clear the shadow. Go ahead.
no, you go. Keep going.
Okay, okay. Yeah, and while they're there, they have to learn about themselves and each other and how to work together, basically. And then they get their missions on, how to heal the lines of light.
Mhm. Now,
Yeah.
question, when you have a group of people trying to solve a problem, kids too, are there conflicts, and does one person want to be the boss and that kind of thing?
Yeah, they definitely have some conflicting moments. There are two characters who are sort of more of the know-it-alls in terms of understanding more of the esoteric aspects of life. And then the other ones are sort of just learning. So this ability to shapeshift or transform into their power animals. And so they learn about that and what that brings to them, what the strengths their animals bring to them, and the weaknesses too. So the weaknesses come up, one of them gets trapped, they have to figure out how to free her. So there's that whole idea of, learning how to work with each other and learning each other's strengths and weaknesses,
Mm-hmm.
and how to come together for the same mission.
Oh, that's great. And
Yeah.
so what inspired you to write these?
So they were in the workings for several years. I think I started the first one, it was published in 2018, and it kind of been percolating for about 10 years before then. And I think what really started it was my own experience as a child, but also watching my kids as they grew up and their experiences interacting with the world, especially my son as a highly sensitive person,
Mm-hmm.
and just learning how to deal with a world that we're not really versed in anymore. So, I mean, thousands of years ago, or even less than in some cultures, we were much more connected to our inner selves, each other, and the land. And I think that that's just gone away over, several hundreds of years. But there's a lot of people who are still really, really sensitive and aware. And I was really interested in trying to figure out how to bring those connections back, and how to make that struggle not so acute for kids
Mm-hmm.
who feel like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really great. And are you working now on the final book in the trilogy?
Yes, I'm about 60 pages into it, I would say. So yeah, it's coming along.
All right. Well, tell me about your writing
Yeah,
process. Do you have a schedule, or do you I remember you were talking about your blog a few weeks ago, just saying that, you when you're inspired, you post, and
right.
do you wait for your inspiration when you're writing, or
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both. I mean, since I self-published, I don't have a publisher breathing down my neck. I don't have a deadline or anything like that. So I usually, when I feel in the mood to sit down and write, I'll just sit down and write. And I don't put the pressure on myself of, you got to produce 20 pages before you get up or something like that. Yeah.
have you ever done that NaNoWriMo thing?
No. Have you done it?
I have it 3
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
They're all awful. I mean,
Yeah. It's a lot of pressure, isn't
it
it?
is, and I like the first time I did it, it was in the summer. I did it like just self-paced, but my
Yeah.
family gave me this book called No Plot, No Problem, and it's by the creator of the NaNoWriMo idea.
Okay. Okay.
And so it's the whole schedule. And so I did it in the summer, and that was much easier. And then the next 2 times I did it was it's November. It's the busiest time
True.
to
True.
do that.
Yeah.
It's Thanksgiving, holidays, like just so much going on. And I would have to, by then I had a job, and I would have
Yeah.
to get up at 5 a.m. and start typing. And it
Right.
was fun because I knew I wasn't going to be publishing it really. It was just kind of a
Yeah.
creative effort, but
Yeah.
you know, definitely no plot. I
Well,
mean,
I think that's the thing. You just have to not worry about it too much and just write. It's the whole
yeah.
idea of just getting it out there, you
I haven't
know?
done it in a few years though. I don't know if I would ever do it
Yeah.
again just because just the timing isn't very good. So anyway,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's an aside.
Yeah.
Let's see. So you're self-published, and tell me about that experience. Did you have you done it in different ways from the first book to now and going on your third book in the trilogy?
Yeah, I mean, I've used the same system for each one. I've used the KDP. It was Create Space before,
Mm-hmm.
through Amazon, and honestly, that works pretty well. The system's fine. I've done some things differently. I didn't buy a ISBN number for the book I just produced, The Keys to the Heart, because I realized there's really no point in spending that extra $150, if you're
Oh,
self-publishing. So
Oh,
yeah, that's
really?
one of the
Okay.
things you learn along the way, like, do you need to put all this money into the ISBNs, or do you just use the free one through Amazon? And
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. And you're a little bit restricted by that, but if you're just selling through the Amazon channel, that's fine. If you want to take the book elsewhere, then I think you need to, it's a little more complicated.
And so
Yeah.
will Amazon do the
But
print on demand? Do they do that?
yeah, it's print on the demand. So yeah, when someone orders a book, they basically print it out and ship it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and is
But they're
that
pretty,
free through Amazon?
yeah, so there's no cost otherwise, but you're not paying anything to Amazon, and they get a percentage of the sales. The cost for the self-publisher comes in, your editors, your book designer, that sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, and
And
publicity.
now I love your covers, and I'm going to show them in the final video, but
Yeah,
so those are going to pop up as we're talking. But
right.
how did you find a graphic artist, or how does that work?
Yeah, so for my memoir, I just took a picture of me when I was, oh gosh, probably 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a cousin who's a graphic designer, so she kind of tweaked it a little bit and put the lettering on it and wrapped it around the book. So she did that one for me. And then the first book of the Warriors of Light trilogy, I had a designer named Danielle English, and she was fabulous. She's done a lot of creatives, and she wasn't available in time for the second book in the series. So I actually, by happenstance, heard about a young designer who was just emerging into the field. She had gone through the 4 years of schooling in graphic design, but hadn't really emerged into the field yet. So
Mm-hmm.
she was really eager to take on the project. And it was a lot of fun because it took us a lot of iterations to get it just right, but she was not unwilling to, she was willing to just keep going basically and not give up. So yeah, I
Oh,
was
that's
very pleased with her and
yeah.
all of them.
Did
Yeah.
is there a lot of time spent? Like, how long would it take to have if you're connected with a graphic designer to get a cover done? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on the designer, but it probably took me, can't remember really how long it took. I mean, my cousin produced it pretty quickly because she didn't have
Mhm.
to do too much. Can't
Yeah.
remember how long the first book of the Warriors of Light series took. I don't think it took more than a few weeks. Um, but it definitely took us a little longer with Keys to the Heart.
Mhm.
I'd say we worked on that for close to maybe 2 months.
Well,
Yeah,
that doesn't sound too bad.
yeah,
When I did
yeah,
I helped my dad self-publish 2 books, and we used a service through Simon and Schuster, and they have a whole self-publishing arm to their company, and you pay,
yeah,
of course. But
yeah.
the cover design, it took a while. Like
Did it? Yeah.
they would come up with an idea, or they gave you access to a lot of images through, I think it was through Getty Images. They had a subscription to
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I I it's on you to find the image. And so, I'm just basically looking
Right.
through tens of thousands of images and trying to get ideas. But in the fine, like the
Wow.
wraparound, I liked that whole, like, it didn't occur to me, that they could do that. And I just
Yeah.
really like that. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I definitely wanted to do that. And it was, one of the challenges was getting the look fairly similar to the first one. I mean, I think you can tell it's a different designer, but it's close enough in theme that
yeah,
yeah, that
that's
it
great.
goes.
So
Yeah.
in the final book of the trilogy, the characters have developed, they've known each other. Do you bring new characters in each time, like just from the outside of the group?
Right. So there's a lot more characters than just the three, or the 6 13-year-olds. There's their siblings, there's their parents, and then there's a lot of guides. So there's this main guide that's kind of there the whole time. Her name is Grandmother Crow, and she's actually the grandmother of one of the characters who's passed on. And she kind of resides in a crow, like she comes back as a crow.
Okay.
Yeah, and she kind of she's kind of funny because she's, she only gives them just as much information as they need, and sometimes it's really cryptic, so they get really frustrated with her. But she's kind of their teacher. And then there's some other characters they meet in the labyrinth. They meet a fairy queen who ends up being, not to give away the plot, but she kind of changes in the next book. And then they have other characters popping in and out who kind of guide them along at the different times. A lot of them are not actually living, they're ghosts or, ancestor spirits and
Right.
gods and goddesses. So
Wow,
yeah.
you have an active imagination. Were you like that, like always, like just as a child? Did you like have these ideas going in your mind?
I think I always did. I mean, as a child, I didn't, we weren't allowed to watch TV,
Hmm.
so my friends would be watching cartoons or whatever, and we just weren't allowed to. We didn't even have a TV for many years. So I read a lot of books,
Yeah,
and I played a lot outside.
yeah,
So I think that stimulates the imagination in a different way than watching TV.
definitely. I
Yeah,
mean, the world is so different now.
right.
With kids and everything, everybody's in, we kind of like with our kids, we kind of missed that a little bit. We were lucky, because like technology just hadn't really
Right.
infiltrated everything that we did, and so there was a lot of outside time until they, like, got into becoming teenagers and all of that, and
Yeah,
so, but it's so different now.
it
Um,
is. It is. And that's one of the reasons, I mean, that's also kind of an underlying theme in the books that you don't really, the only technology that's mentioned is just little bits here and there, like, oh, I forgot my phone, or we didn't bring our phones or whatever, but they're not doing anything on their technology,
right.
they're on
Yeah.
their devices rather, they're immersed in this other world.
They're not saying, "Hold on a minute, there's a new
Yeah,
TikTok video
exactly.
that I have to check out."
Right,
So
right. Yeah, yeah,
well, that's neat. So, let's see. So Alethea and I were talking. We were talking about what to do, uh, how to get your books out there, and
right.
ideas for that. So, she tell us again about that. Your idea.
Yeah, so when I published the second book in the Warriors of Light series, I'm like, I'm going to go back into the first book because it had been a while. It had been, what, 6 years since
Hmm.
it had released, almost 6 years. And so I just wanted to go back, give it an edit, see if I needed to change anything. And so I did, because, little things change in the storyline too. And I wanted to clean up the text a little bit. So I did that. I re-released it, and I had all these copies of the first edition that were sitting in my closet because before COVID, I was doing like some fairs and stuff to sell the books and of just different author events. And then COVID hit and everything stopped. And then I never really got back into it. And then I produced the second book. So I had probably like, I don't know, maybe 20, not a whole lot, but 20 books. And I was like, I don't want to sell these because it's changed a little bit. I don't feel right selling them. So it occurred to me that I could put them in the little free libraries that are all over the place now. And so what I did was, I wish I'd brought one, but basically what I do is I take the book, I package it up with a little animal, like a little soapstone animal figurine that has to do with a character in the book. So this is a snake, and that's one of the characters does transform into a snake. So I package it up in a little like mesh bag, and then there's a bookmark too that goes with it too. So here's the bookmark. So I put the bookmark
Oh,
in. Yeah, yeah. There's Grandmother Crow.
I like
It
that.
says the true path is found through the heart. And that's one of her sayings. So I put that in, I put the little totem animal, wrap it up, and I put it in the little free libraries as I find them. And I'm trying to spread it out so that they're not all like in, my area of New Hampshire. So when I go on a little drive, I'll like, if I find a library, I'll just plop it in.
That's really neat. I love that
Yeah.
idea. I really do. It
Yeah.
reminds me of that other thing. Oh, about 4 or 5 years ago, I was reading this. somebody's blog post who said that there's a thing out, I don't know what it's called, but you you leave a book like on a subway, or and then it's just like a whole community, and there's some way to connect it. Have you heard of that?
No, I haven't, but I mean, yeah, it's the same, exactly. It's the same idea. And I feel like it just goes perfectly, like that word connection, it goes perfectly with the idea of, you know, what this book is all about. Because at the essence, it's all about connection. And that's what I feel like when I drop these off. I'm like, I'm spreading that little web of light out into the world and connecting, you know, to the people who might get something from it.
Yeah, I really love that. I mean, it's also like those little stones with the painted stones where
Right.
you're walking
Yep.
along a trail and you see one, and then the idea is to take one and leave one, and it's just
Right.
really fun. Sometimes
Yeah.
somebody in the library will, like a patron will leave one
Oh,
between books and everything. I love that stuff. So
oh, that's really cute.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I love that.
So well, this has been really great, and I think we persevered through the unstable connection.
Right. Yeah. It's gotten better, I think.
I think it has, it's improved. So
Yeah.
I don't know whether, how like with radios, when we had just transistor radios, and if it was cloudy, sometimes it was better like to get like the station that we wanted.
Right,
But
right.
I wonder if it's
Yeah, you
related
just
to
never
that.
know.
I have no idea. So
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
all right. Well, if you want to know more about Alethea and her books, I'm going to have all her and how to reach her. You can check the description at the end of the video and also in the YouTube description. Um, and those will be links, and you can find her there, as well as you have a blog and you have a website, and you can get to your blog through your website, correct?
Yes, correct. There's
Yeah.
a
So
link.
I was tapping around in there, so it's very
Yeah.
easy. Thank you so much for coming. And and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to subscribe, that would be really great. And I'll see you again soon.